This is Nation's Voice Tower, your most preferred YouTube channel. How have we been? As for we over here, we're doing just okay. My name is Angelo, your anchor. I told you I've been doing lots of digging lately, and I have lots of expository documents for you. And these files are actually from a source that is anonymous though, but when you hear the contents of this file, you're going to be shocked and you will feel Nigeria is being used. Now, stay tuned. The topic or the headline of this particular secret file, I think this particular file should be classified as issue of national security. Now listen, it says, the silent war in the APC and the Gbajabiamila Nuhu Ribadu 2027 conspiracy. Yes, in as much as it sounds funny, but this is what is going on right now. We have to expose all of them. If not, they would continue to do the wrong things and achieve their aims and still get away with it. Now listen, from our source, most reliable, it says, a new cabal, this source is actually from the Aso-Rock, a new cabal, much more vicious, power-hungry, and corrupt, has emerged in the Bola Tinubu presidency. The Chief of Staff, Femi Gbajabiamila, and the National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, have formed a tag team controlling the affairs of government, shielding Tinubu away from happenings, and forming a cabal that will sooner or later tear down the house of APC. At the back of their mind is 2027 elections. Gbajabiamila does not see Tinubu either completing his tenure or having the capacity to run again in 2027 due to his failing health. His strategy is now to clip the wings of those he perceives may be on his way to replace Tinubu. Gbajabiamila found an ally in Ribadu. His calculation is that in the event Tinubu cannot continue, he would make Ribadu his running mate. But in the event Tinubu finishes 8 years and power is to return to the north, he would run as Ribadu's running mate. Before I go further, you remember when I told you that Femi Gbajabiamila, the chief of army staff, the chief of staff of of the president, is not in good terms with the vice president, Honorable Kashim Shettima. You remember? This confirms it. So he has made enemies with Kashim Shettima and other people, so he could deprive anybody from having access to the president. But because Kashim is the vice president, he always has access though. Now listen, from our source. To achieve those plans, it serves him well to get Malam El-Rufai out of the equation. This is the main reason why El-Rufai was not confirmed as a minister. It's not all those drama they gave us in the National Assembly. Listen to the main reason why now. El-Rufai's clearance for a ministerial position was put on hold after Gbajabiamila and Ribadu's background work. Gbajabiamila and Ribadu are said to have masterminded that to keep the former Kaduna governor out of the race of the 2027 or 2031. We expose them. Gbajabiamila and Ribadu's scheme have brought a major crack in the APC and the presidency. They will never accept, they will never agree that they have this particular crack. Especially with those who toil day and night campaigning for Tinubu. There is palpable anger of being left out from the ministerial nominations and confirmations too, and others' political positions. Those who were hitherto close to Tinubu are now so shocked how they were either left out or no longer have access to the president. Gbajabiamila and Ribadu have shut them out, leaving them in regrets. In Katsina State, a very close ally of Tinubu, one Senator Habu Ibrahim, did not make the ministerial list, neither did he make the confirmation list, and no longer has unfettered access to Tinubu. Former Katsina State Governor Aminu Bello Masari also lost out of the reckoning. In Ekiti State, former Governor Kayode Fayemi, an intellectual base of the APC, was left out. Same with a renegade member of the PDP, Ayo Fayoshe, in Lagos State. Babatunde Fashola too, although we know he's playing something in the background, he was left out. and Akinwumi Ambode and Abike Dabiri were all left out for an unknown Lola Adejon, who is alleged to be a girlfriend of Wale Edun. In Enugu State, former governors Chimaroke Nnamani and Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi both betrayed their party, the PDP, to work for Tinubu. They have both been shut out. They didn't get a ministerial position nor a nomination. In Oyo State, Senator Teslim Folarin suffered humiliation from his own party, the APC, which worked against his governorship ambitions, and yet he never got compensated with a ministerial nomination. Bashir Lado, Kashim Imam, both long-time northern friends of Tinubu, lost out and shot out from the villa. Listen, more secrets to be let out. Magnus Abe, who was tipped for a ministerial position alongside Nyesom Wike, lost out and shot out because Wike would not have him around. In Bayelsa, Ebitimi Ambare lost out to Heneke Lopobiri, a nominee of Wike. Bayo Onanuga, Tunde Raman, both very close persons to Tinubu, lost out. In fact, Raman, who should have been made the media advisor to the president, was blocked by the duo of Gbajabiamila and Dele Alake. Can you see the politics they are playing in the background? A very, very brutal way of politics. Raman is now considering leaving the government. Femi Fani-Kayode, Tunji Bello, Babatunde Ogala, Ahmed Raji, Abiodun Faleke, Senator Tokubo Abiru, and very close friends of Tinubu who have all been schemed out and shot out. The duo of Gbajabiamila and Ribadu are playing their cards well, watching for anyone who might be a threat to their 2027 or 2031 presidential ambition. Yes. How long the scheming will last will be determined by the strength of their strategies. So this is what is happening in the background. Don't be shocked. Yes, don't be shocked. We have eyes everywhere. So we will continue to expose them until Nigeria returns to normalcy, until we attain the new Nigeria that we have always advocated for, or we have always clamored for. Now, amidst everything that's happening in the country, there has been a call from one group called the Diaspora Action for Democracy in Africa. They have given a stern warning to the judiciary again, because it's barely 14 days to the 180 days deadline given by the Constitution. Lots of groups are coming out to warn the judiciary not to submerge justice, because we've been hearing lots of things about the judiciary and the judges, in fact, most especially the judges involved in the Presidential Elections Petitions Tribunal. So without much ado, I think I have a brief cutaway from that press conference where the group called the Diaspora Action for Democracy in Africa, a very, very big group, a Pan-African group, issued stern warnings to the judiciary, especially the judges in charge of the tribunal. Watch this. More details when we come back.
Nigerian government and the judiciary, and we are here to ask them to respect the wishes of Nigeria, even as we look forward to the judgment that is going to come from the election petition tribunals across Nigeria. This process is included, yet somebody has to be installed so there won't be no vacuum. Hence, we have some people at the National Assembly whose cases are the tribunal, people who are sitting as governors whose cases are the tribunal, and somebody overseeing Nigeria as the president who is still at the Presidential Election Tribunal. That notwithstanding, it is important now to know that the Presidential Election Tribunal particularly, whose outcome will have stronger effects on Nigeria's democracy and governance, has become a subject of attention. And recently, as we can see, there are ongoing campaigns, all eyes on the judiciary, of which, as of day before yesterday, we have seen an attempt to muzzle out that voice. But we must say that we find it challenging that in a democracy which emphasizes free speech, that citizens saying that all eyes on the judiciary should be a subject which will be, alluded to be a suggestive idea for anarchy. It is surprising that those who believe in the tenets of democracy are actually opposed to freedom of speech, to the extent that the citizens say that all eyes on the judiciary has become a subject for which some people have been termed anarchists. But that is unfortunate. But we're here today to say that we believe strongly that the judges know that in the history of Nigeria, no other election tribunal has raised the consciousness of Nigerians more than the 2023 presidential election, which they are currently presiding over. We have seen tribunals, we have seen election adjudicatory processes in the times past. But I will tell you that no other time in Nigerian history has it been this consensus. Now many Nigerians, both home and abroad, and even beyond Nigeria, in fact, if you watch some foreign media, till tomorrow, they are subject of social discourse. As of Sunday, we had a very prominent former British member of parliament, George Galloway, having a world media platform where Nigeria's democracy and the ongoing tribunal was discussed. That's to tell you that, unlike before, Nigeria has become a subject of international attention strongly. Hence, the judges at the tribunal knows that, like no other time in Nigerian history, it has become a subject of interest, and this is one of the things we want to emphasize. Arising from the discussions we have had with so many Nigerians and also other Africans, because as a diaspora organization covering the entire Africa, and Nigeria being a country whose activities have dominant effect across Africa, whatever happens in Nigeria has become a subject of great interest to us. So having discussed with Nigerians, having had these various interactions, because if their verdict fails to satisfy the requirements of justice, it may detonate the youth in Nigeria. We have to emphasize that. And this is why we are paying attention, and we are also using this opportunity before anything goes wrong to call the attention of everybody to that. Hence, we agree with one of the authors in this ongoing subject, Reverend Father John Ode, who wrote, and I quote, "The lessons we can learn from the NSAS protest and the 2023 election is this: when the people are pained and pinned against the wall of despair, when they are unjustifiably compelled to be poor, miserable, and hopeless, when they are systematically denied of their sources of decent living, when they can no longer trust their leaders, when they have justifiable reasons to be angry, when they cannot trust the police as the guardians of the law and order, when the law that should be their last hope turns around to become their worst enemy, with the result that they cannot trust the justice system, and finally, when the nation itself ignores justifiable rage of the neglected younger generation, as it happened during the NSAS protest of October 2020 and during the electoral savagery of 2023 elections, there is the threat of some violent implosion or explosion unless the situation is redressed.
All right, you've watched the video and you've understood that there are lots of eyes on this case, this presidential elections petitions tribunal. There are lots of eyes both internationally and nationally, even locally. So all eyes and all ears of the Nigerian populace, both at home and in diaspora, are all on this case, looking at the judiciary, looking at the way they are taking their processes and what their possible conclusions might be. Hence the hashtag that has gone viral for the past few months, all eyes on the judiciary. So let's keep our fingers crossed and our heads up. Let's see what the judiciary would make of this. If the judges in the judiciary would submerge justice, it is to the peril of all Nigerians and them inclusive. If they uphold justice, it is to the credits of all Nigerians too, and they themselves will receive the most honor. So let's keep our fingers crossed and see what happens. Now, secondly, or lastly, let me say, I have something quite different on the issue of the Niger Republic coup d'etat by the military junta. But before I say so, let me talk about our viewers. You know, I always talk about you. Now, if you've not subscribed to this channel, please do so. Don't also forget to tap the notification bell so that you will be amongst the first group of people to be notified anytime I drop a new content. Then don't also forget to like, share, watch till the end, and please, most importantly, drop a comment for us in the comment section. We need these comments to improve. Yeah, so one Dr. Victor Okai, former Nigerian presidential candidate, and also who is a global affairs analyst, has said something that really caught my attention. This particular statement of his got me thinking. What did he say? He said it is time for the countries in Africa to take back their land. It is time for the African countries to take back their properties, to take back their resources. Yes, it's been long that Nigerians, not just Nigerians, Nigerians too, and other African countries, especially the Francophone countries, have been suffering from colonial history, okay, or let's say colonial command. How, even after independence, these countries still remit lots of funds and lots of mineral resources, either directly or indirectly, to this Francophone, or the French, let me be precise, to be very, very honest, the French. So, to talk about this, I have this particular man, Victor Okai, who said it is time to take over the country, and it is now time to stand up and pay less attention to the white masters. Watch this.
Well, this is the opportunity. Obviously, with every crisis, new opportunities arise. I think that I'd rather start from the African perspective. What this does present for Africa now is an opportunity to begin to renegotiate its trade policies, its economic policies with these Western powers. At the heart of, the source of all of this problem is the Industrial Revolution, that started in the 19th century, and there was a need then for these countries to feed these industries with resources which they didn't have in their places. After slavery, that was the next level, and so it has continued. So it has always, favored them to get these resources to feed their factories and their manufacturing concerns at the expense of Africans. We have been impoverished for so long, and this has gone on for too long. But the good thing right now is that one of the legacies of colonialism, if you like, is what you call Western education. And today, particularly with globalization and with the way technology is right now, what they know, we know. And so, the child has grown up to be a man, and he now knows his father's inheritance. That is where we are at the moment, and it is time for Africans to demand for their inheritance and what rightfully belongs to them. And how is this going to happen? It will now be on our own terms. As what is happening, now we begin to look and say to ourselves, who are our real friends? You want our resources? Let's talk. It has to be on our own terms. And I'm hoping that this is sustained. if they do not do what they have always been known to do, which is always to have their stooges, and this is what is causing the uprising across, this particularly from the French, the Francophone countries right now, where, they install people who are favorable to them. They will turn a blind eye if a man stays there for 100 years and does whatever it is that is favorable to them, But the minute you do what is not favorable to them, then you're public enemy number one.
All right, so you've watched the video, and I wouldn't like to say much because it's actually self-explanatory. The truth remains that immediately after the Industrial Revolution, Africans really suffered this issue of lack of history and originality. So we tended to depend on the whites in all ramifications because those were our only means of looking at the light. Yes, so over time, everybody was meant to grow. At least now we've grown above our masters, or we've grown to meet up with our masters. And fortunately for us, not unfortunately, fortunately for Africa and Nigeria too, we've known what they know. Okay, we have intellectual juggernauts. We have political warheads. We have experienced scientists. Okay, mad artists and so on. We have lots of good people that have gone extensively to read and acquire knowledge. Okay, so it is time for us to stand on our own, even though we've been depending on, or we've been supplying lots of services even after independence. So let us do the needful and make sure that these whites do not explore our countries anymore, so that the occurrence in Niger Republic will not have to repeat itself in any other, not just a Francophone speaking country, but in all of Africa. Thank you so much. From our table, we'd like to draw the curtains here. See you next time. Bye.